Hey guys, what's up? My name is Sam, back with another video. Now I'm not even gonna waste any time because the S8 and S8 Plus was released on Wednesday, March 29, 2017. Now if you guys don't know, last month LG released their flagship phone, the LG G6. So right now the competition is heating up for which one's gonna take flagship of the year for 2017. Now a lot of you guys might be looking to upgrade your phone sometime soon or buy a new smartphone, and you might be thinking, what phone should you get? Should I get the LG G6 or the Samsung Galaxy S8? Now in this video I'm going to compare both phones and try to help you guys decide which phone you should get if you're looking to upgrade. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into it. Now let's start off by talking about the most obvious features of these phones, and that's the display. On the LG G6 we have a 5.7-inch IPS panel, and on the S8 we have a 5.8-inch Super AMOLED panel. On the S8 Plus it's actually a whopping 6.2 inches. Alright, now these phones are definitely not small in any way, but you might be thinking, okay, these phones are too big, they're like phablet size, right? However, they actually made them a little longer instead of wider so that they actually fit better in your hand when you're holding them, and a little bit more easier for one-handed use. So one of the things that Samsung actually did to make this phone feel better in the hand with the edge panels was actually made it kind of melt more into the frame. So unlike last year with the S7 Edge, where it's kind of like this flat piece and then the curves came on to the side, it was a bit sharp on each side, and especially when you held it, you kind of felt those sharp edges. However, now with the S8, it's kind of more all-in-one, kind of unified body, so you really don't feel those sharp edges like before. Now because these phones are more tall than they are wide, the aspect ratio is kind of thrown off a bit, because when you're watching videos, normally videos are 16:9. However, with these phones it's a bit off, as I said before. With the LG G6 it's an 18:9 aspect ratio, and with the S8 it's an 18.5:9 aspect ratio. So when you're watching videos in landscape mode, you have these little black bars at each side. So if you're kind of nitpicky about certain things like that, then that's something to consider with these phones. Now with these big, tall, beautiful screens come great resolution. Now on the G6 it's a 2880 by 1440p, and on the S8 it's a 2960 by 1440p. So what that simply means, guys, that the images on these devices are going to be absolutely beautiful. They're going to be very bright, vivid, and extremely detailed pictures, alright? Especially on the S8 with its Super AMOLED panel. Now the images you're going to get on that is going to be absolutely phenomenal. You're going to get deep blacks, very bright contrasty images. Now that's not to say that the LCD on the G6 is going to be inferior in any way to the S8 with its IPS panel. In fact, you're going to be getting great color accurate photos as well as good viewing angles on that device. Also, the G6 has a very bright LCD, so when you're outside in direct sunlight, you're still going to be able to see everything on your phone just fine. Now one of the things that Samsung did to achieve that really big beautiful display was to remove their physical home button from the front of the screen. So now they've opted for on-screen navigation buttons. And I must warn you that Samsung did add their own little twist to these buttons, and they are, in my opinion, very ugly. Now let's move on to specs. Now on the LG G6, it comes with a Snapdragon 821 chip as a quad-core chip. It comes with 4 gigs of RAM, and it comes in 32 gig and 64 gig for the internal memory. Now on the S8 side, it comes with a Snapdragon 835 chip, that's a octa-core CPU, 4 gigs of RAM, and it comes with the standard 64 gigs of internal storage. Now both of these phones has the ability to upgrade with an SD card, and they also both come with Android Nougat built in. Now you guys might be wondering, okay, I'm definitely going to go with this S8 because it has a newer chip, okay? Why didn't the G6 go with the newer chip? Well, I guess because at the time of production, the newer chip wasn't available for them, so that is why. Also, you have to remember that these phones, they can't actually perform the same. It all depends on optimization. And these phones come with their various bloats and their various skins and all of that. So you're really not going to know which phone is going to perform the best. Honestly, bring them side by side with the same apps and all that. But yeah, it's two different phones, so you can't really compare them apples to apples, alright? So just take it with a grain of salt when you hear like, oh, Snapdragon 835 or Snapdragon 821. Now on to the next thing, which is the camera. Some of you guys might be thinking, okay, the S8 camera is really disappointing. Why? Because it's the same exact camera as the S7 from last year, which is honestly disappointing. Same exact sensor, same exact megapixel, everything. about the camera is pretty much the same thing. The only thing different that Samsung said about the camera was that there's going to be a different software that does a better job at post-processing, so the images are supposedly going to be better when you take them. However, with the LG G6, it is different from last year's version. It now has two 30 megapixel cameras on the back. Now the G5 last year did have dual cameras, however there was one primary camera and one lesser secondary camera just side by side. With the G6 this year, it's the two identical cameras side by side. Now when you switch over to that super wide angle mode, it's going to be absolutely beautiful for your videos, for your landscape photography, all that stuff is going to be really good. It's actually one of the best features in this phone, and it's definitely going to give Samsung a run for its money when it comes down to the camera's performance. Now when it comes down to videography, the S8 slightly nudges out the G6 because on the S8 you can record up to 2160 at 60 frames per second, while on the G6 you can still do 2160 but at 30 frames per second. Alright? Now let's move on to the next thing, which are the speakers. Now both of these phones feature a single downward firing speaker at the bottom of the phone. Now on paper these are just meh. So we're not really going to know which one trumps the other until they're both out in the wild and we can put them side by side to see which one is really better than the other. However, Samsung did throw in a nice gift with their S8, and that is a free tuned by AKG pair of headphones, alright? And they're actually estimated to be worth around $100, so there you go. Next up on the list is the battery. On the LG G6 we have a 3300 milliamp battery. On the S8 it's a 3000 milliamp battery. Now you guys might be wondering, 3000 milliamps on a battery in 2017, what the right? But I guess with the whole fiasco with the Note 7, Samsung really didn't want to push the limits with the whole battery thing this year, so they just gave you a safe 3000. However, that's gonna be kind of rough because these phones are pretty big, and with a Super AMOLED display it's gonna be eating out a lot of battery. Alright, so I'm not sure how it's gonna work out. My bet is not really long. Maybe when it gets Android O, the optimization might be a little bit better, who knows, but we're yet to see. Now finally, let's talk about bells and whistles. Now in typical Samsung fashion, they had to wow the masses with tons of bells and whistles, one of which was the numerous ways in which you're able to unlock your device. Not only are you able to use a PIN, password, or scan your fingerprint, but now there is facial recognition, and yes, the iris scanner is back from the dead that came on the Note 7, alright? Now these extra unlocking methods might have something to do with the new fingerprint sensor that's located at the back of the device. As I mentioned before, the S8 no longer has that home screen button on the front of the device, so now the fingerprint sensor, which used to be on the front, is now at the back. And it's not located in the center of the phone, which most manufacturers have their fingerprint sensor, since it just easily rests right there. But no, it's actually at the very top right next to the camera. So it's going to be very awkward to reach for it sometimes if you really don't have big hands, and especially if you're going to be using that S8 Plus, which is going to be very tall, so reaching for it is going to be a stretch. Now another bell and whistle that Samsung gave us was its new AI assistant, Bixby. Now this is a dead photocopy of the Google Assistant and the Google Now features that we already know. You can actually swipe left to see contextual cards just like Google Now. Alright, it also has a voice search assistant just like Google Assistant. And for me, I'm not quite sure why this is, because one, it pretty much only works with Samsung apps right now, so it's not going to be very useful to many of us. Secondly, these phones actually come with the Google Assistant built in, so it's very redundant having these two assistants in the same device. Granted, Google Assistant is way better than this Bixby thing. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. That's my roundup of these phones and their features. However, it's all going to come down to the price. They are rumored to be around the $800 price point. So what I want to know, are these phones worth it? Are the bells and whistles of the S8 worth it? Is the awesome dual camera of the G6 worth it? Which side are you guys leaning towards? Is it the G6 or the S8? Let me know the answers to all of this and more in the comments down below. And if you guys like this video and want to see more content like this, then make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe down below. So yeah guys, as always, stay awesome. My name is Dakoin, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Now I know you guys might be thinking, okay, definitely I'm going to get the S8 because it has a newer chip, right? Well, you're probably fucking right, I don't know.